Hello, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a series of videos that is going to fill in all the chapters, and we're going to start off with the surface anatomy of the digit. So the digit is everything from the fetlock down, so we're just going to go over some of the structures that we can see here. So straight away we can see this area here, this bony joint or articulation area, and this is the fetlock joint. We talk about it in our osteology series, or the osteology chapter. We talk about how this has a more of a veterinary terminology known as the metacarpophalangeal articulation, and it's a complex joint. It has four bones that make up this joint, one being the third metacarpal, second being the proximal phalanx, the third and the fourth being our proximal sesamoid bones. So as we come down here, we then enter this region here, which is the pastern region. Pastern is a commonly used term in the equine industry, and it's also related to the actual the phalanges that make up the pastern, and also the pastern joint. So the pastern joint is the interphalangeal articulation, or sorry, the proximal interphalangeal articulation, and it's the articulation between the proximal phalanx and the middle phalanx, which we found round about here. So as we come further down, there's only one more joint, and it's the joint that's actually inside the hoof capsule, and that is our coffin joint, or as we'll discover a little bit later in the series, the distal interphalangeal articulation. The coffin joint actually corresponds to certain landmarks on the foot, and one of them would be, or very closely, is related to the widest part of the foot. Now, the widest part of the foot is a good indication of where that centre of rotation is, and when we're talking about balance, we will do a separate video on balance, but when we're talking about balance, we're looking at the proportions from front to back about this centre of articulation. Okay, so what we're also seeing here is this area here, and this is our coronary region. So the coronary region is home to the coronary corium, and that is a structure known as a dermis structure that produces the horn, or produces the hoof wall. So the hoof wall here, as you can see, has horn tubules that are arranged in this longitudinal manner that grow away from the coronary band, and as that hoof grows, those horn tubule cells all grow away or grow forward from the coronary band. We can see how that coronary band comes all the way around the back here, and actually then forms part of this structure here at the back, known as our bulb of heel region. So the bulb of heels are very important in the shock absorption mechanism of the foot. That's where you would find the the digital cushion. So the digital cushion and the collateral cartilages, which are internal structures that we will cover on another video. But it's where you'll find them, and it's what's responsible for the actual weight distribution within the hoof capsule and that shock absorption mechanism. So the coronary band will continue round, and it will actually form the heels here that you can see, and the bars as it then progresses into the frog corium, the sole corium, etc. So what we're looking at here is the stratum medium. This foot doesn't have it here, but on top of the coronary corium, you would have the perioplic corium, and the perioplic corium is responsible for producing the periopal. Now, the periopal is that outer sort of shiny layer of the hoof capsule. Depending on the environment, the surface in which the horse works, or the actual farrier that's trimming the foot, it depends on how much of that periopal will remain on the foot. On this, as it is a freeze-dried specimen, that periopal, that stratum externum layer, is no longer visible. So what we're seeing now is the bulk of the hoof wall, and that is the stratum medium. Okay, so that's the hoof. This is our distal border of the hoof. This is what we'd be trimming as farriers or trimmers. This is what we're sort of trying to balance up all the time. We're looking at this toe length here, we're looking at heel height, we're looking at ratios, balance. As I said, we will cover that more in another video, but that is the surface anatomy of the digit. I hope you found that interesting, and we'll move on now to the internal anatomy. I'll see you on the next video.